All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are no longer pissing us off. Progress, boys, big time progress. Some would say they're even making us happy these days, but we're not letting these guys completely off the hook after that like half a month of absolute hell. And the thing that had us keeping cool in the depths of baseball hell was, as always, our Coors Light. We got to believe is presented by Coors Light. Where you're juggling work, family, the busyness of summer in general, and a team that just all of a sudden decides to suck, it's easy to feel the pressure, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill. There's plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. So grab every opportunity to choose chill and reach for a refreshing Coors Light. Again, my Coors Light was in my hand during those wins, during those losses, during the Subway Series, during the 4th of July parties. So shout out to Coors Light. We absolutely love them. It's cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. So New York, choose chill, choose Coors Light. Proud partner of the New York Mets. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. All right, boys, we're back.
I'm letting them off the hook.
Back. What?
I'm letting them off the hook.
You're letting, okay.
I think they should be off the hook. I think they did enough. I think they're back. I think we're back. I think
it was very quick.
It was really quick. You beat an NL contender into a Subway Series beatdown. That's enough for me, baby. And then a probably signature win of the season, if you ask me. I think that was the best win of the year. Two big series wins and one individual comeback best win of the year. We're back.
Hand up, forgot the Brewers series. Flat out forgot.
Okay.
I thought it was like lose, Yankees. And
no, we snuck that Brewers in there, which is, they're important too. And then more importantly, and we'll talk more about the nickname. Not that we've been like waiting for them to click because they've been having a great season. The only team with 4 guys who have 15 home runs, all that shit. But that game the other night was like that front 4 is here. They are established. I think they're probably the best foursome in baseball. I don't know. I don't know around the league as much, but like that's a deep top 4 that's all really good. The only problem is that people have given them a stupid nickname. It's not the Fab 4, it's the Fab 5. And also there is a blockbuster movie about to drop called The Fantastic Four that everyone is talking about and buzzing about. And you have the posters and you have the template and you have the memes. And God bless Steve Cohen. I ride for him more than anyone else. And usually whatever he wants, I will give him. But he said the Fab 4. They're not the Fab 4. They're the Fantastic. If they're anything, if they're going to have a nickname, it's going to be the Fantastic Four.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I just tell you, I will never call them the Fab 4.
Never. It's not a thing. It's like if you had 5 things and you said it's a Mount Rushmore. No, it's the Fab 5 or the Fantastic 4. You can't mix. You couldn't say the Fantastic 5.
Yeah, you can't say the Fantastic 5.
No.
And I said it in the group text. I'm just happy no one said Core 4 because that would have been so fucking
that would have sucked dick.
By whoever did. So shout out to for not even thinking about that. Kyle, how are you feeling right now, pal?
How can you put Pete Alonso in the Fab 4 without giving him an extension? You can call him whatever the fuck you want if you give him an extension, but if he's going to be gone by the end of the season, which he's going to opt out, it's like you can't call that like the core of the team, not the core 4, but you can't call him that and then also not give him an extension because all those other guys are locked up for the long term.
Yeah, that was the whole thing about the Yankees 4. It was like they were there for 50 fucking years. I know it because they tormented me for decades. You got to have them all for the long haul.
You also have to have him, by the way.
Yeah. I think we've all but put that to bed. Like I remember in the beginning of the year, I was like, well, like what if you've got the best out of Pete? Maybe you should let him walk after this year, or maybe you don't give him a big contract. I mean, I think they have to just do whatever at this point. He's stayed good, like too good, too long.
I think Mark Vientos gets like a $3 million under the table bonus from Pete. Like, thanks for sucking, so I can come back with $200 million.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing with Pete. You do get worried. It's like, remember the OPS? It was just, and now it's like this. But it's like, does Soto just presence in the lineup now ensure that we're going to have like this Pete where he's not like, I got to hit a home run or whatever it may be? I don't think he even has it in him to the way he's wired to be like, got paid, don't give a fuck, feet up on a desk, right?
No, I mean, if anything, when he got, $30 million a year, he turned it up. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm at the point where if we give him within reason, it can't go, $500 million like Vladdy Jr. or something, but you give him a big contract, and if he's bad, I'd be like, it happened. I don't know. We had to do it. You had to, whatever. That's down the road anyway. We're back. I think, I mean, we'll see what happens. This doubleheader pisses me off because doubleheaders are so wonky. Like, I think they could have and would have beat the Orioles in the series, especially coming off that win. But now you got to like throw 2 pitchers and 2 catchers, and it just gets wonky. But I think if they pair this up with another series win, like, I don't know, we'll be at like 5 bad series in a row, and now you have 2.5 so far, 2 important ones and some big wins and some everybody hitting. We're good. I asked the question last. I said, if in a week we're back in first place and we're winning, does it all go away? And everyone, we didn't really know. For me, the Phillies lose on that ridiculous walk-off the other night. We're back tied for first place, and it's like, that sucked, and I would love to still be 5-6 games up. Maybe would have been even more if we kept winning at the clip that we were at. But that's baseball, Susan. But as long as, like, and by the way, Winker's coming back, Senga's coming back, Manaya's healthy, like, the trade deadline's coming. Like, I expect to only get better. So I'm ready to just say that was the June swoon. It's kind of crazy with this team how literally the calendar matters. Like if we like put them in a, like, if we like sequestered them and just told them, like, no, guys, it's actually July 15th, and they just like didn't know what the date was, would it change? Because it seems like when the calendar flips, this team knows somehow.
You know what? If you think about it, the 1 year where the calendar, nothing made sense was 2020, obviously, because they had the delay. And we were so bad, we didn't make the playoffs when half the fucking league made the playoffs. Remember that?
Yeah. The season started after June, and we were like, we're set. This is when we're usually good. And they came in and we're like, no.
That's true. With the calendar team, man. I don't know.
We are a calendar team. Oh, it's so stupid. Everything about this team is stupid. So I'm with you. I wanted to go back at him after that Orioles game, which I think was the best win of the season in terms of like the comeback and the vibes, and obviously the 4 gentlemen at the top of the lineup who are all very good players. I guess that's going to be my nickname for them.
The 4 very good baseball players.
But it was also like kind of nice that they couldn't fuck it up the next day. And it's
you just get to keep the good vibes going for 24 hours. Yeah.
So it kept it going for an extra day, another night off for us. And then like the bullpen is reset. We should have the bullpen pretty much like today's weird because it's a doubleheader, like you said, but you're only going to get 1 guy per game probably. And then for the Royal Series, it's boom, boom, boom. And then All-Star break, everyone rests up. So we're kind of hitting the reset button on this. And with that, we're just, you alluded to it, we're getting everyone back. Winker's back. Senga back on Friday. Is that right?
I thought so, yeah.
Senga back on Friday. Manaya doing a piggyback. You can't be having Manaya coming back and then he has to throw Clay Holmes on his back. What kind of fucking, like, that's something the Mets would have actually literally done. So Manaya Holmes, which I wonder if that's, like Phil said, if that's the plan with Holmes, where it's like we just have the Manaya Holmes, or he's like this could be a fucking new trend in baseball, right? If everyone's going to go 5 innings, you have pairs. Right,
like a baton, like pass the baton, like it's your turn. Yeah,
it's like we have the Manaya Holmes today, and then we have
it's platooning, but when you're starting rotation
tomorrow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're shorting the game where it's like 5 innings for one guy, 3 for another closer, or you're back to your bullpen, and you're kind of eliminating that.
If the Dodgers can win a World Series with 2 straight like bullpen games in every series and still win, like it doesn't matter anymore.
Nothing matters. Everything is fake. And the way sports is going with analytics, you can just chop it up anyway until they change it, like they did with the shift. And then like, no, you can't do that anymore. So until they put the rules in, which is a lot trickier, making guys go, I know they've talked about that. Starters have to go a certain distance. We'll see. So Manaya, Senga, Acuna up, Janko, tip the cap. Boys, take off the hats here.
I believe like this was during his
year. Our boy Jenko. I feel like he's going to be back. I feel like this is just
we're destined to do this dance forever.
Yes, I will say
he's great to have down in the minors, and then like when the playoffs come and you expand the rosters and stuff, to have another speed guy and another defense guy, like that's huge.
Yeah, I didn't remember how good his hair is, man. That hair pops on the screen. I forgot all about it.
It's like it's not even blonde; it's like yellow. It's like
So I feel like we're kind of in a good spot. So you're saying hashtag back, all capital letters, Kev? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. No, we're back. We're back, baby. We're back.
Okay.
I don't know if we're back to the tune of like,
very real.
Huh?
The fatigue was very real, like when they were on that downtrend, because it was like you were happy when there was a cancellation. You were like,
Yeah.
I get a night off because I know they're going to make me miserable.
Dude, I love nights off. Even last night with no Mets and no Love Island, I was like, I can watch whatever I want. I don't have a schedule tonight. No parents. Woo! I would say we're not back to the tune of winning at like 108 win clip. I don't know about that. That was probably, we probably played our best ball of the season already. But I think we are back to like, we're not going to have to worry. I hope. I don't think we're going to go through another 3-15 stretch or 3-13 stretch, whatever that was.
Kyle, hashtag back, all capital letters. We throw them bold on it. What do we?
Oh yeah, I think we're back because we also have like pitchers that we're relying on that were like these guys were good versus
literally
other guys who were just playing above their head.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get shorn up, and then I think we probably need a bat and like bullpen arm. I don't think we're gonna.
Well, I assume we'll do a little deadline talk at some point, but something's changing. And we better, based on who your guys are and who you like and who's homegrown, you better get ready for somebody to be gone, I think.
Yep.
Because
some of our guys here and down the road, right?
Yeah. I think like a lot of our guys are on the chopping block. Not chopping block, trading block.
Well, your guy, Mauricio.
I'll tell you right now, my boy is gone. My boy is gone. He is clearly at least performing right now. Like, I don't know, if I was a team, I would probably be trying to take Vientos on the low right now. Like, I would bet on him bouncing back. So maybe he's actually the most appealing. But in terms of like trade value at their highest, it ain't Acuna anymore. It ain't Vientos anymore. Beatty's up and down, whatever. It's Ronnie. Like, Ronnie he's hitting, he's flashing the glove a little bit. He's doing dumb shit out there, which you kind of need. Catching that ball with his bare hand the other day was crazy. Base running mistakes and stupid shit, but like, what did he do? When he tried to go back to first, right? Didn't the guy caught it and he like tried to?
He ran right into the tag at second.
Yeah, right. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think whoever is giving up an arm or a bat is circling him and maybe someone else, but I think it's over.
He's just like a physical specimen, 24, and anytime he makes contact, it's like no doubt.
It makes me think we shouldn't trade him, by the way. As I'm talking, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe he shouldn't be on the block, but I mean, how nice would it be to have PCA right now? What if he's another one of those? So, if you're going to do it, I think you better make it worth it because I think he shows the most promise. And Vientos, I don't know. To me, Vientos should be off the table because I think this would be the definition of selling low. And it's too early to give up on what we saw last season and last postseason.
All those years of hugging Ahmed Rosario, Mauricio looks better to me. Like
then physicality,
the swing and everything. That would piss me off if he goes somewhere and he's.
But considering Rosario netted fucking Lindor, like if you're talking a monster move, then fine. I just don't want to move him for like a rental at the deadline.
Yeah. You gotta have someone that at least has a few years left. That's like manageable. It's not a dump.
I don't know. Maybe like Skeens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Mauricio, he's the dude. It's like the you can't teach 110 off the bat kind of stuff. Right. And you see it. It's not hard to see when he does it. It's just when he doesn't do it, you're like, oh.
Whoa. But those are what I mean. If you're trading for somebody, like that's who I want. It's like the same thing with all the guys I always compare him to, Ellie De La Cruz and O'Neal Cruz. Like they, do weird shit and dumb shit and fuck up, but then you watch them throw the ball 100 miles an hour and hit it 120 miles an hour, and you're like, I'll deal with the other stuff.
Yeah. And then Vientos is like the guy. It's like you've seen it already, and he has it. And it's like, and we all
package Beatty and Acuna, and everyone goes home happy.
The Acuna at this point is just like fast defense. I know he's going to play a big moment on the Mets if he's on the roster in like September, just like being on second and scoring on a whatever.
Also, though, he goes down to the minors. He was batting like 289 with 4 RBI like in a week, and it's like so he does. He might be one of those quadruple A players who's stuck in between, but he's also one of my guys. So I'm just getting picked off left and right here. My guys are going down. Send
Ronnie and Vientos in a package for Junior.
I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The way the Guardians are operating, I'm starting to feel like Jose Ramirez is on the move sooner or later. Just because like they're fans.
Yeah, if that's on the table, that was a WFAN trade right there.
That's like the best case scenario.
If that's on the table, then Pete is gonna end up someplace else.
Yeah, right.
That's it. I don't know if that'll happen, but what the Guardians have done to their fucking fan base. And you're Jeff D. Lowe, of all people, just getting on and going on like a 6-minute rant about baseball. I was like, holy shit. Our boy Jay, hey, have you checked in on him? How's he doing? Or he's just giving up hope at this point.
He also, he's given up hope. He also just became like such a overall baseball guy that it's not, as crazy as he once was. But I think Lindor was like a breaking point for him, if I remember correctly. I think him being like, if you're not going to sign this guy, then like you're never going to sign anybody, and nothing's going to matter. So I think, it's kind of like gave a hope on that one.
And that is why, folks, all the like the people, I'm not going to talk about the people we work with, everyone who is like, it's the same as the Wilpons, or this guy doesn't make a difference. Thank the good Lord, even with the shitty nicknames he gives people sometimes, that we have Steve Cohen as our own, because we're just taking other people's Lindors, paying them. We're taking Soto's, like ripping them from the Yankees, paying him. And this is
not the same. It's one of the most disrespectful things that Frank and anybody has ever said. There's critiques you can make here and there, but when people were like, it's just another Wilpon, like it just shows me that you didn't really live through the Wilpons. You didn't live it and breathe it and feel it, because no one would ever say that. That's like you get out of an abusive relationship and your next boyfriend, like you get in a little fight and you're like, you're just like my last boyfriend. It's like, no, my last boyfriend beat me. No, get out of here.
Well, talking about the Wilpon era and, a good boyfriend, the best boyfriend, pretty much the gold standard boyfriend. We have a retirement of a number coming in a week away. And if you got to be there, you got to go to Game Time. Baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to Game Time. Plus, the Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find great deals on the seats you want. Just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT Pick setting at the top of the screen, or browse the best local Game Time Picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. Again, those little GT Picks, it kind of just uses a little algorithm. So my basic brain does, especially if you don't know a stadium, it'll tell you, hey, best deal for what you're getting, depending on what you're going to spend. So I was looking at Reds at Mets, a.k.a. David Wright retirement number day. I was at the ballpark last week, and they already have the programs on. It just says captain with the number 5. It's dope. The Mets Museum, which is way too small, by the way. It's kind of embarrassing how small our museum is, but they have just half of it
in there.
What?
There ain't much to put in there.
No, and it kind of just shows like, we're the Mets. Like, this is kind of like a joke in itself that they've moved those plaques or whatever to the other spot. So it's just like literally 10 by 10 room, but half of it is David Wright stuff, which is very cool. So I'm looking to go see David Wright get his number retired, and I'm looking here, Reds at Mets, and we got I can't believe the price of some of these things. So everything sold out like instantly. We tried to get a Barstool ballpark there. We were told no dice. You're just not going to be able to do it. They had, I think 7 Line has an event going on that day. I'm looking here now. Pepsi Porch, $117, which considering everything sold out in a flash. This is it. Section 106, row 32, $136. Can't beat that. So I'm going to get my Mets Reds tickets. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jacks. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to buy these Mets Reds tickets. So now with Game Time Picks, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. That is a man, David Wright, who lived through the Wilpon era, gave you every ounce of life he had, essentially, and deserves everything he's going to get.
Very Mattingly-esque. Like, could you imagine living through that being your career? And then not like right after you're retired, but like a little while, like here comes Steve Cohen, and you're like, imagine playing the last 10 years instead of this 10 years. Oh, it's got to be brutal money-wise.
Play in the City Field graveyard that they built for Jose Reyes to hit triples only to let him walk.
Steve Cohen would have dropped someone in a vat of acid if they had built those ballpark dimensions.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy.
By the way, I'm looking in the chat here from Matt. Soto has a 2,206. I don't even know how to say it. 20. I don't even know how to say OPS when it hits the 2s against Charlie Morton. That's fucking insane.
So we have Morton today.
What's that?
He's one of the 2 starters today for Baltimore?
I'm assuming, yeah.
That's insane. I might responsibly gamble on that. That ad read comes later in the podcast.
And he's not in the fucking All-Star game. Unreal.
So, yeah, that was the next thing I wanted to get to. Juan Soto, not an all-star. Juan Soto is not an all-star. Generational player, one of the greatest hitters we'll ever see. However, in 2025, is not an all-star.
I'm not surprised by it because it's like that was the rhetoric. It just goes to show that all-star starts are rhetoric and storyline based. There was just a little bit of negativity around him. Some other fucking bums make it instead of him. I don't know. That is one of the crazier things.
It's also the stupid baseball rules. Every organization has to have a representative, so then it becomes a numbers game. And speaking of numbers, like let's just call it what it is too. Like his numbers came in June, which is when the voting and yada. But you think at some point the players and the coaches are like, "Oh yeah, Juan fucking Soto is an all-star."
You know, when the pitchers of the league are saying he's the last guy we want to face.
Yeah, exactly.
Not on the all-star game. Okay.
And then side by side with everyone else that was chosen, and it's like the highlights of who has higher numbers, and they have 1 versus 15 categories. It's like, what are we doing?
I don't actually get bent out of shape about it. Like I love that. I love Juan Soto being like, I could have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope that's his shtick. I hope he leans into the bit and just talks money every time he's.
He was dead serious. $100,000, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking pissed."
No, got a round trip flight to Atlanta. That's like an extra couple hundred right there in itself.
I want him to like do that interview, lighting a cigar with like a lit $100 bill, being like, "I could have made money. I could have made some more money if you sent me an all-star game."
And you know what the best part is? You know Steve is going to take a bunch of the money he paid him and he's going to put it in his little Stevie fucking funds and it's going to come out 10x, right? In the end. So he's going to be so fucking rich, Juan Soto. But like this is the thing too. It's like he gets kind of I don't want to say the Mets stink on him, but like Francisco Lindor never making the All-Star game as a Met. I don't know what to blame it on other than like the jersey at some point. Like we're still
working out that Met stink.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because like for such a passionate fan base and for it to be like fan base voting, you would think that every year we'd have like guys that are in the thick of it.
Yeah,
but
like, they also have the worst fans. We have like a lot of that passionate fan base are the worst.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And also we need to be challenged. Like when Steve Cohen called us out, we bought tickets. When it got ridiculous with Lindor, I think we all agreed. Like I voted. It's like I don't ever fucking vote. Right. I'm voting. Like we almost have to be pushed and which is crazy. We should just like not be a fucking shitty, annoying fan base until we like absolutely have to be. But that's just the way it is.
We're also New Yorker. I'm not going to be New Yorkers, you know, but like it's true. Like we kind of like I'm not going to sign like the All-Star game. Now I'm getting fucking emails about 17 different email lists.
You know what it is? You ever notice in basketball, every other arena, everybody puts on the free T-shirts. And if you go to the Garden in the playoffs, people are like, I'm not fucking wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not putting on this free shirt that somebody just gave me. Everyone else in Oklahoma City is like, wow, we all got free T-shirts and we all dress the same. This is awesome. And people in New York are too cool for that. I'm not saying it's a good thing or bad. I don't know what it is, but it's just a thing for sure. I'm not voting for the All-Star game. I'm not wearing the free T-shirt. I'm not doing, like Cardinals fans voting their guys into the All-Star game is like the most important thing that they will ever do. They love it. It means everything to them. It's just not going to ever be the case in New York.
You know what it is? It's like when people complain about like there's too many sequels and reboots and shit, and then they come out with an original movie. You're like, I'm not going to fucking see that. That's what it is.
Fuck that. I want Jurassic Park.
Wait till it ends up on my TV. It's fine.
Yeah. So I don't. The other thing is like with the Mets fans. We are unique, though, or I think we would rally around voting for someone. Like, I think this year they did for Lindor when it got to that point. Or, like, if we could have voted for Bartolo, you can't as a pitcher. Yeah. But, like, we love the memes and the silliness and the ridiculous side of baseball. Bartolo would have been started the All-Star game if we could decide pitchers.
I don't even think we would have had to vote. Like, the whole rest of the league would have voted, too. Like, he would have got the most votes ever. He would have got the most votes ever.
Yeah. But when before the Mets, after the Mets, no one gave a fuck. And then Bartolo was the biggest thing in baseball for like that chunk of time here. By the way, I noticed yesterday, did very simple math. It's been 10 years since Mets Cubs 2015. That is fucking nuts. And I texted my boy Eddie, my snack brother. Boys, I'm just calling it now. I just have a premonition. Premonition? What is it?
We're getting a premonition.
I think we're getting I think it's Mets Cubs, and I feel like PCA is going to be right in the middle of it. It's going to suck.
That's gonna suck.
That's gonna suck. And I think we're gonna be competing for a lot of the same things at the deadline. Now the thing is, we have Cohen. They don't. They have kind of a cheap owner who I don't know if they're going to re-sign Kyle Tucker. That lineup scares me. That's a scary fucking lineup. I think we have obviously the better pitching if everything's going well. But boys, I'm just feeling like I don't know. I'm like doing the logistics. Do we have to fly to Chicago for the streams and they fly here, or can we all just do a stream on our own?
Oh, yeah.
I'm already thinking that far ahead. Which again, 2 weeks ago I was like, are we going to make the fucking playoffs? So it's a good thing, I think. But I just have I don't know. It's just an inkling in me right now. I don't know what round it'll be. I just feel like us and the Cubs are having kind of like. I see the tweets going on. We're kind of living charm seasons right now, you know? We're Phillies fans. You wouldn't even know the Phillies are in first place half the time. I feel like Phillies fans, they've been good for so long at this point. It's like they're not going to get their hopes up anymore.
Bro, that inside the park walk-off was bonkers. Yeah. If that happened to us, I would have, oh my God, bouncing off the top of a brick wall like that, like a catcher hitting a wall.
That was a catcher too? I didn't realize it was a catcher.
First catcher since 1926. I would have said if you would have told me that was the first catcher ever, I would have said, I can't believe anybody else has ever done it.
1926, they probably didn't have a fence. It just kept rolling.
You just keep going. Yeah,
it was no fences back. Like Jason Kent was the only catcher who did that.
Yeah.
Kyle, as the one who lived in infamy in this podcast for living through the Dom Smith game, how would you say that would have been worse to stay up till 1 a.m. just to watch a walk-off on
I would have retired right then and there from West Coast baseball. There's no chance I'm watching anything after that. Right. That's insane. That reminded me of the All-Star game that they had there when Ichiro led off the game with the inside the park home run.
Yep.
But even though, this ball kicked so much further. I couldn't believe
it. Almost like it basically should have been a real home run. So you can kind of live with it. But that bounced from right field to left. Yeah, that was crazy.
This the old heads again. I can do my old references on here because I feel like we are maybe a little skewing as an older podcast. In RBI baseball, when the ball will go the wrong way and you'd move your fielders and
your guy would be running against the wall because you're trying to get the guy behind him to keep going.
There's just no way. That's what those Phillies fielders looked like as they were trying to get it. It was like the worst possible.
That is a great call. The entire field was moving towards that ball.
By the way, I found this out the other day. There's a website, you can Google it. Someone makes RBI baseball. You can play it on the emulator or whatever. They have the updated rosters every year. So I was playing with the 2025 Mets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Bad News Baseball? No, Base Loaded 2, but it was called Bad News Baseball, I think. No. And the umpires were rabbits. Let me pull it up. I have no fucking idea why. They were rabbits with full. I think it was
everything else normal except for the rabbits. That's weird.
Bad News Baseball NES. Let's see. I think this was the one. Rabbit.
Speaking of umpires,
the
time has come. They're going to have automated balls and strikes in the All-Star game to get people.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're going to have the check system for balls and strikes. The batters, if they tap their helmet, they're going to have the radar on it. It's actually very quick. It's surprisingly accurate at the moment. So.
Wait, for a challenge or?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're at the plate and you strike out, or the pitcher, vice versa, and you think it's a ball versus strike, all you got to do is tap and step out, and then the radar comes up on the screen and it tells you if it's inside the box.
This is can you see my screen?
Here, I think
no.
I got it. Oh, there we go.
So this is Bad News. So this is the cover. And
I've never heard
there's a fucking rabbit umpire. Everyone else is human. And then in the field, there's these rabbit umpire. I can't even say it. It is one of the weirdest things. I have no idea why.
That was on NES. That looks like Tecmo Bowl.
I think it was a computer game, and then look, you see in the back there it says Tecmo Beer, so it's a Tecmo NES thing. But it was an awesome game. It was good. It was sort of in between. It was like a level up from RBI, graphics wise, but not quite bases loaded. But yeah, rabbits.
That's weird. Dusty Diamond All-Star Softball. That's another great one. You have couple guys. You have like one guy's the devil, one's a witch, but then there's just a ton of just normal kids, and they're all kids.
Now you just play like the show, right? That's it. Like there's just one baseball game, right?
That's all there is.
It used to be Slugfest, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball will never be beaten because it was this.
Seriously,
like,
I could play that today and I would still love it.
That was the game, wasn't it? It was like pretty real, but then couldn't you also hit like 1,000-foot home runs?
There was a cheat code built in just for Ken Griffey.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Home
So
run
like
no matter where the ball
900-foot home runs and shit. Yeah.
Baron Gaming, Baron. Baron Gaming, they're the ones that have the Tecmo Ball. And I just looked it up. They also do the Griffey. So there's a Griffey and 25 rosters for Griffey. If you
Hell
want to
yeah.
play
That's great.
Ken Griffey Jr. in your emulator. Man.
500-foot home runs. We do not have to watch the home run derby this year. And I don't know if I'm just an old man, but I'm like, thank God I do not have to tune in to Pete Alonso trying to do this for like the 8th time.
What was it? He said, though, I wanted to take the full 3 days off. That was his reason?
Oh, I saw that he was like, they didn't call. Like, nobody asked.
Oh, I thought I saw something where he was like, I've never been able to like take the full 3 days off. It's like, well, yeah, that was up to you. You did it for fucking 10 years in a row, dude. You could have done that a long time ago.
And it's like a night out for us, too. Where we're like, he's not that corny. Yeah, he kind of advertising. He just dialed in right now.
Honestly, that was
like
a change. That was a turning point.
promos.
That was Pete Alonso turning point was when he was like eyes closed, holding the bat. Like I think he was like nodding along to Drake or something. I was like, oh god.
He was doing squats in the gym. He had the squat rack.
Yeah. He is baseball's Drake, where it's like you're good, but my god, are you fucking corny? It's hard to defend, dude.
That's a good comparison right there. So I just told AJ, I was like, by the way, oh, Francisco Lindor made the All-Star game, and he's like, what's an All-Star? And I was like, oh boy. So I explained to him. So I'm going to watch the All-Star game with him, and I think I'll watch the Derby with him, and we'll see because when they say it's for kids, I'm going to see if kids like it, because I told like a lot of the Star Wars people who grew up with the prequels were like, prequels are for kids. AJ, what the prequels like? These movies are terrible. I don't want to watch this anymore. Yeah,
I think the kids these days are like too sophisticated. They've seen too much good entertainment. They grow up on like iPads and watching real shit. I was watching. Do you remember the ESPN Classic used to run this all the time? It's the Mickey Mantle versus Willie Mays home run derby.
Yes,
and they hit like line drives and like ground balls and a couple home runs here and there, and it was probably sure at the time that was like the greatest thing. It's just I think you see too many highlights, too many home runs, too much. It's like I also think it used to be like I need to be able to see the guy from the West Coast or the American League, and you're gonna see him in the home run derby. And I don't know. It's just like
I'll die on this hill too. They used to have to tune in just to see what the All-Star alternate jersey was gonna be. Like they reveal everything so early now. And now they wear the same jerseys in the game and all that kind of stuff. It was like you had to tune in to see it, but it would be like 6 hours long because they would take a million pitches.
Oh my God, that was, I do think that the latest format is like, well, complicated, like actually probably a good format, but the time and the bonus and all that, like it at least adds, a countdown, like 3, 2, 1, is he going to hit it? Like it's too long and all that shit, but it's better than people taking pitches and just, being too picky and all that sort of shit.
So the home run derby participants, so we got Acuna, Cal. I love that the dumper is just mad.
Dumper.
James Wood, Buxton, who I saw got hit by a pitch. I don't know if he's going to keep doing it. O'Neal Cruz and Junior Caminero. And someone's saying this is going to be the group that finally makes them stop using kids in the outfield because
the line drives are going to kill some kids out there.
O'Neal Cruz is not safe for fucking kids in the outfield.
No, that's a great call.
So I don't know if that's all going to go. I didn't realize that they still have the funky rules. Like I have to figure that on the fly now because I have no clue. I haven't watched it. It's kind of like the dunk contest, right? Does the home run derby need saving or is it fixed because one guy had an incredible round? That's how we do this every single year.
They keep tweaking it every year too. Like last year they made some like minor change and it like totally screwed me up of like the distance for the extra, but then it doesn't carry over, but sometimes it does.
Yeah.
You know what they need to do some rock and jock shit. Like remember when McGuire used to hit it into Big Mac land and you got like free Big Macs or some shit? Like they need to have like spots out in the outfield. And if you hit it, like everybody wins a fucking this or free that or $1,000 or something like that, where the actual home run means something other than just like, wow, far. Oh, another one. Like, is it going to hit? Is it not? That sort of thing might add a little intrigue to it. But I mean, overall, like, let us know what AJ thinks, because sometimes I feel silly complaining about it, where it's like, yeah, man, I don't know, you're a grown man.
Last year, the camera wasn't matched up with the counter, and they were like a pitch behind, so they were missing home runs, or like you didn't see one go out, and you're like, why are the numbers not moving? It's
a mess.
Yeah. We'll see.
I hate to say it too, but like, and I don't know if there's a right way to do it. So when I say this, I realize there may be no right way to do it with the home run derby. The back when Chris Berman stuff. Like at some point, we just reached the super saturated. It was terrible, and I stopped tuning in at some point. I was like, I can't take Boomer anymore.
It's like a home run call in real life because it's like once every a couple times a game, not a couple times every 10 seconds.
So it was tough, but I don't even know who does it anymore. We'll see. So, yeah, I'll give you guys a full review next week. So that's what Monday night is the derby usually, and then Tuesday's the game. I was actually like had to remember because I haven't watched. I think the last few years were the first time I haven't watched the game at all. Like not even. I love my tip of the cap. You guys know I'm a pop and circumstance guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even tuning in for that anymore. So, all right, we'll see how that goes. We'll see what the kids say about it all. And after that, we're going to have our second half of baseball, which will entail plenty of betting as we get towards the end of the season. Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing a few bets on the game, all with DraftKings Sportsbook. As the season heats up, so do the bats and DraftKings with live betting, home run props, odd boosts, and more. Whether you're chasing dingers or jumping in mid-game, there's always action to be had. Never bet on baseball before? It's easy. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Oh, that is, again, put that on a t-shirt. Vibes and dingers. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. You know what? I have to actually rewind us here. Kev, we didn't get your thoughts following the first Subway series. You were out.
I was wondering that. I was wondering if we did anything, but we didn't, right?
No. And then this year, now we have this Subway series we just wrapped up.
Yeah, listen, it's always nice to, like revitalize your season and throw another nail in the season of the crosstown bums. The Yankees are bums. They're bums. They're bums. They're just not that good. They're like the DJ LeMahieu thing is like a perfect example. They're the Wilpons Mets. They're like worried about that kind of stuff. Are we cutting DJ LeMahieu or are we going to pay him $20 more million? I don't know. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? They have shout out to Luis Severino. You have one hitter now. You have one fucking hitter. And Cody Bellinger, the scraps they took to try to make up for Juan Soto, they played nice. They played well. But like Anthony Volpe is the worst fucking hitter in baseball. I actually respect his dad going down with the ship and out there yelling. I would be upset too. I would probably be yelling at Mets fans too if my son was the worst player in baseball.
Sniping the best player in baseball with an errant throw in between innings. Dude, if he hits him in the eye and he's out for any sort of time, you have to cut him immediately.
You have to cut. He's a villain in New York for the rest of the year. It's the
never living that down. Yankee Clipper. He's like, you shot Derek Jeter.
Clipper. I love that.
Yeah, they're just. I don't know. It was like. Yeah, the game we lost, looking at that pitching matchup, I was like, all right, we won 2 out of 3. We're not winning this game. And even that, we made them sweat. And we're a couple ridiculous double plays away from taking that game and sweeping the series. They're just not, whatever.
I'm at the point where that game, by the way, when I saw the pitching matchup, I just followed it on Gamecast. And then when I saw some of those calls that umpire had, I was like, I'm not even going to – I can't do this right now. I can't get mad at this umpire.
There were people who had the fucking nerve to tell me that the called third strike on, I think, Terens was like a borderline pitch. It was like the worst pitch I've ever seen in my life. It was like it would have hit a left-handed batter like in the feet. And people were like, that's – you don't know we're across the plate. Like it's a 3D, blah, blah, blah. Like – get the fuck out of here. That was one of the worst calls I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
and we can say it, like, he sucked for both sides. There was times where I remember LeMahieu was having. He's just like, what the fuck, dude? I suck as it is. You can't, make this even harder for me. I also will admit, like, I was terrified of LeMahieu whenever I think he had like crazy numbers against us. They showed like during the Subway Series.
Early on, he was great, period. Yeah.
Yeah. But then also when I was like, they're like, he crushed in 2019. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, holy fuck, that was 6 years ago.
Oh, well, that's a career ago. Yeah.
That was a career ago. And in 2020, it's like, we can't bring up anyone's 2020 numbers. Dom Smith was like third in the MVP in 2020, right?
What is Dom Smith doing? Where is he? He in baseball?
Oh, let's see. Let's do it, Dom. Everyone take a team. And unless he's, obviously if he's not DFA'd right now.
Gonna say he's on the White Sox.
Kev?
The Athletics.
Poetry. San Francisco Giants.
Wow.
June 4th signed a 1-year contract as a first baseman and left fielder for the San Francisco Giants. It's fucking poetry, Kyle. They saw him in that game and said, that's our future.
We'll take it. It's got some juju in this building.
Oh, my God. And that's Dom.
Conforto still there, too?
What?
Is Conforto still there, too? They're just
building that's like
the Dodgers now.
Oh, right.
So, by the way, I saw people saying earlier, like the Dodgers had the best big four instead of our big four. Like Mookie, I don't know if he's broken out of it. He was slumping pretty big. Freeman was awesome. He's cooled down a little. Ohtani's Ohtani. And then Will Smith versus, I guess, Nimmo. I don't know, man. I like our guys more right now.
Yeah.
I could also say, like, Ohtani also just, like, every time they turn the game, he just hits a home run. He just does.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably a little more top-heavy, but, like, top to bottom, I think I will take ours.
Yeah.
And guess what? The fact that we're even like debating that, A-okay with me.
Yep. Pretty fucking awesome.
Also, Nimmo's batting leadoff and looking great, but also Starling Marte is getting lost in the shuffle of this. He just turned back the clock completely. If you put him at the top of the order, he's like, oh, I'm going to be able to like do some damage here. Like, let me hit 300 again. Because he's got like the highest average on the team at this point.
Hand up. When I saw those lineups, I was like, I don't like this, man. And he has been, I genuinely think if there's ever, like, if you need proof that vibes matter in baseball, Starling Marte, look no further. I think they just like him. He clicks with Soto. He speaks Spanish. He seems to be cool. Whatever it is, all added up, those guys love him. And he just goes out there like loosey-goosey and rakes.
I have to admit, like, and I watch the games all the time, but I've never really like paid attention to the numbers. And I was like, when he got hurt, I was like, oh yeah, but like he hasn't had it like he's been really good lately. And then I looked and I was like 270 Harris. I'm like, fuck, how the fuck? Like I didn't even notice that he was.
I know. He's a professional hitter, man.
I told you guys the story where AJ was like, Dad, when I played baseball, can you just call me, instead of calling me AJ or Anthony Clemenzik, you call me Antonio Marte? And I was like, he already knows
you say yes?
Players are awesome.
Yo, Antonio Marte, yes. I would call him that forever.
He's good at
getting to school in September and say, here's my son, Antonio Marte. That's it. That's awesome that he said that.
The pasty blonde kid is like, Antonio Marte here. How's it going, everybody? It's hilarious.
That is awesome. As far as I'm concerned, your son is Antonio Marte from here on out.
Kid knows ball, right? It's like you watch baseball for like a season, and he's like, the Spanish guys are awesome. I want to be like that. Dude. Speaking of guys who are awesome or unknown, I just want to do a quick look ahead for this Royals series. Who are on the Kansas City Royals, boys? We don't have Phil here to guide us.
Bobby Witt, that's all I got.
Eric
Salvador Perez still out there doing it?
Salvador Perez is out there. 245. Salvador Perez had like a season or two where you're like,
there were people talking about him being like a Hall of Famer at one point.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
He had like that old school juice. All of a sudden, he's hitting like 40 home runs. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, that was weird.
He had, oh my God, in 21, he had 48 home runs.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
You telling me you're not getting tested like every other day as a catcher doing that?
Salvi.
That's double, like almost his career high. Like
that's some Brady Anderson.
And then he had 48 and 20. And that wasn't the juice balls year. The juice balls years was 19, which he missed the whole season. Maybe they just gave him juice balls. He's like, fuck this, I missed 19. I get the 21. All right, so Salvador Perez is there. Bobby Witt is there. The Vinny Pasquantino, he's there, 270, 15 home runs. Michael Garcia, He's batting 305 at third base. I only know him because of fantasy. Jonathan India, who had like that rookie season as a Mets killer. Remember him?
The Reds, right?
He's up there as well. And then it's just a bunch of, they got that guy, Jack Caglione, the guy they brought up from the
A
minors.
lot of fucking Italians. We signed our own. We got our own guinea.
Yeah, really. Antonio Marte, you need to introduce your son to the Italian players.
Matteo Morelli.
Matteo Morelli is the
Matteo Morelli is like when I'm making fun of Italians and I just pick a name. That's his name. He's the first ever like born in Italy player in the league or just on the Mets?
I think on the Mets. I don't know if anyone else has made
I
it.
don't know if there's I wouldn't be so sure that there's a like real Italian in baseball.
I'm trying to think of who was on the Italy team.
Just franchise first.
Franchise first? Okay. So who's like 19. The first? He's the 19th in the league?
No, he's 19 years old.
Oh, 19. Wow.
He was set to become the first European amateur signing in Mets history.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Europe and baseball don't really go together, but
yeah, and everywhere I'm looking with Italian baseball players, it's just giving me Italian Americans. It's like Mike Piazza, Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, right. This guy is Italian, which is like, where have you even been playing, dude? Do they even have baseball fields in Italy? Like, legitimately, when you go to like a school, I'm imagining there's like soccer fields and basketball courts. Are there baseball diamonds?
Mike Piazza is out there scouting for sure.
Yeah.
He lives there. He's the coach of the team.
Yeah.
There's got to be some crossover there that we found this kid.
He's probably like his nephew or some shit, to be honest.
Yeah. I have to say, though, with all due respect to my guy Matteo here, he needs a stronger mustache. His mustache game, it's like penciled on. If
you're I actually haven't seen him. Put him up.
I'll put him up. Let me share this one right here.
Francisco Cervelli is the Italian.
No way.
Yeah.
Of course, playing for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. Well, you know what, though?
It has room to grow.
But also for like a real Italian, like, I don't know. He almost like it's almost like a villainous, like, remember Italians, somebody had this take on there's a comic, I can't remember his name. Italians used to be villains until 9/11. Then it became, Middle Eastern. Italians used to be the bad guys. He looks like a villain he's got that mustache that, if it was a little longer, he would twirl it while he's like, trapping someone to a train track.
If he had a cappuccino in his hand instead of a baseball, he'd be a villain.
He's got to grow his hair out like Furio from The Sopranos. Then he's set.
You've definitely called like a Yankees like fucking bleacher creature Matteo Morelli at some point, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean 1,000%. Just like a Patrick McGillicuddy, just like threw two names out there. Matteo Morelli. Oh, that's a real thing. Absolutely crazy. By the way, the Royals, man, I don't know. What's the record? I don't know if they're good this year, bad this year.
They are 46 and 48. They're second in the AL Central because the Central is
yeah. But I will hate them forever. I will hate them forever. Like they just represent the biggest missed opportunity of my goddamn life was losing that World Series. They should not have lost it. They should have won it. Everything just from that franchise haunts me.
I just read they gave him a $10,000. They said more than anything, he's willing to uproot his life for a $10,000 contract. And then they made sure to put it in the next paragraph. The Mets set the major league record by signing a Dominican player to a $5 million.
Like I said, man,
he went from Clemente to Marte, folks.
Yeah. That's a savvy business move by Antonio.
Oh man!
Tell me he goes to the negotiating table. You're negotiating with Antonio Marte, not Anthony Clemente here. He'll get the big bucks that way. Kev, I was saying this the other day too, because with the series coming up, and I'm like, how are we like lumped in forever with just the Kansas City Royals, just the most blah whatever franchise of like, I guess the last 30 years. Like I guess when George Brett was there, they had some juice to them and everything. But like you could, if you're naming teams, that's one of the teams you forget usually. Be like, oh, it's right, the Royals. I can't believe I forgot the Royals. And they just took everything we ever wanted and loved. And it was a 2-year blip. They came in.
I know. The back-to-back almost makes it like somewhat palatable because like they went to back-to-back World Series. That's a good team. but it was such a like they never on either end didn't do anything after that. So it was instead of a 1-year blip, it's a 2-year blip. So it makes it a little more okay. But like, yeah, it's just like Eric Hosmer fucking put a knife through my heart. What? Fuck, man. That Lucas Duda throw. And then the worst, I mean, for me personally, the contact thing drove me in. That was one of the worst L's of my career. So it's like, yeah, they put the ball in play. As long as we throw the ball, like A-Rod said it. As long as the Mets don't throw the ball around the field, they win the World Series. Well, we did. Yeah. We fucking did. So I'm usually not a fan of, we lost that, you didn't win that. But if there was ever a case to really make the case for that, like it's that series. That was just if we don't blow game one, I think everything's different. The due to throw, the Murphy errors. There's a lot in there that like we handed to them. That quick.
We led more innings than we didn't, and we lost in 5 games.
Bro, we led like 89% of the series. It's like unfathomable. And like in other sports, it's like, well, no, the Royals put the ball in play and like they made you make those errors. Some of those things, like when like the Lucas Duda error, they said, at least I don't know if you believe them after the fact, they said we knew that he was a weakness at first base, so we were going to pressure him if we got the chance, and we did so, and it worked out. So like, okay, you scouted that, you did earn that. But like, I'm not about to give them all the credit in the world for just putting the ball in play. You hit like weak ground balls that we just fucked up. You just fucked up. Like, I don't know. I really struggle to give them like too much credit for that. Like, they just fucking kicked the ball away. They just kicked that World Series away.
It probably was just a bad matchup because it's like a team that would do that was terrible for a team like us. That it's like these guys you just have to give them the rope and they'll hang themselves, right? Because they can't play defense, and that was like our Achilles heel. Just like the series before, the Cubs would probably beat any team, but we had the fucking fireballers that could get the Cubs out, right? Yes. So it was a rock paper scissors, and we got fucking. I don't know. I think it's like contact is like paper. When you lose the paper, it's like such a little pussy.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call. You didn't rock me to death. You papered me. Yeah. But it's funny because that stat about the Cubs was true. It was like the Cubs can't hit like guys who throw 95 and up. And we had that in spades. And it was like it played out the whole way. And then the contact thing was the stat of that series. And I was like, that's not going to be an issue. And those two stats were like the difference in those series. That was. But again, like if it was like your game plan when you go up there to hit is not like hit a ground ball at Daniel Murphy and let him fuck up. That happened, but you were trying to get a hit. You were trying to fucking, you weren't like actually doing that. You just benefited from the fact that he sucks. Any team would have benefited from the fact that Daniel Murphy sucks, not just the Royals.
And the only reason we're in that series in the first place is because Daniel Murphy was crushing the baseball. Yeah. So it's like, had to be out there.
The biggest thing I think it's like you learn
chapstick.
Stuff.
Oh my god, remember the chapstick? Oh my god, the
chapstick.
Sorry, keep going.
The one like as I get older now, it's like I try to learn stuff or take stuff away from a season, and that season taught me like just because it feels like it's out of a movie does not mean it's going to end with a championship, because there has never been a more magical season than fucking 3 days and 3 nights in Flushing, Wilmer tears,
Sandy sitting in Wrigley while the boys celebrate.
Everything was there, and then as soon as the World Series started, kicks the fuck out of the ball.
We should have known right then and there.
And yeah, it was all over. And then even last year with like the OMG Mets, that's kind of like prepared me. I was like, listen, this is fucking magic, and maybe we win a series against the Phillies and have some crazy, great moments. It doesn't mean you're going to win.
Oh, as soon as the New York Yankees lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks after 9/11, all bets are off. Magic doesn't mean anything.
And they had so many great moments to get all the way to literally the greatest relief pitcher of all time on the mound to seal up the fucking World Series, and they couldn't do it. So yeah. It's like, you ever see that South Park where they're like in a Disney movie and they keep winning their like game? I think they're trying to lose hockey and they keep winning, and then they make it to the end and they're like, oh man, we're in the championship game, and then they just get
thrashed.
Like people like 10 years older than them. It's hilarious. The Royals, by the way, I looked this up. After the strike in '94, they didn't go they went 500 once until like right around that World Series. So they went 500 in 2003 they had 512 winning percentage. Every other year was worse than 500. Then they went 531, 549, 586, win the World Series, 500, and then haven't been 500 since until last year when they were decent again and they made the playoffs. So it's like they've just been forgettable for almost their entire.
They just happened to peak the one time we peaked. Like,
sucks, man.
I mean, I will never forget I think we punched our ticket to the World Series first, right? Because we swept. And I'll never forget, like, the Royals won. Who'd they beat?
Who did they beat?
Because I remember being like, I want the Royals. My point was when the Royals had, like, punched their ticket, I remember tweeting, being like, the New York Mets are going to win the World Series.
They
got to do it.
The Blue Jays. I think that was Bautista.
Yeah.
That was a bat flip year.
And I think they were, like, raking monsters, and I was afraid of them, like, in hindsight.
Edwin Encarnacion with the parrot. Like, those guys can mash, yeah.
Donaldson won MVP that year. Holy shit.
Who did?
Josh Donaldson.
Oh, right. So I remember, like, yeah, I'll take the fucking Royals. Like, we're going to win, and we should win. And we basically, like,
did win.
How do you win? How do you lose in 5 games when you led for almost 90% of the fucking game?
And it's like Uncle Buck, another old movie reference for everyone out there that has no clue. When she rolls the ball and stops right at the pin, he goes, I don't think you could throw a ball and get it any closer than without knocking a pin down. That was the fucking 2015 Mets in the World Series.
Yeah.
It was impressive how much they fucked that up. So this year's Mets, we have 3 games in Kansas City. And the first game is Senga return against an old friend. Michael Wacha is on the Kansas City Royals, and he's 4-9, but with a 3.83 ERA. Hashtag Brody was right. I mean, there was Michael Wacha. He was one of our 2 big signings that year. It was him and who's the guy who led the league in losses the year before? A former Cy Young, who was on the Red Sox. Something Raindrops was his nickname. The Rockies used to call him. Rick Porcello.
Ricky Raindrops. Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky Raindrops. So Wacha Senga, game 1. Game 2, Montas, that motherfucker, versus Michael Lorenzen, 5-8 with a 4.61 ERA. And then Cameron, who is Noah Cameron on the Royals, 3-4, 2.56, versus our little Mania Holmes piggyback game.
The fact that Montas is still, like, penciled in as the starter makes me think that Clay Holmes is going to continue to be the starter. Because I don't know about Montas. I feel like I trust Clay Holmes more than him. You don't know what you're ever going to get with him. And we've gotten to the point now where it's like you don't want to burn the bullpen. The bullpen's good. And if Montas goes out and he gives you 3 or 4 innings and screws you for the rest of the series, like we've seen that story season after season. We don't need that. I
mean, Clay Holmes' last start was bad.
It was good until it wasn't.
So this is the thing about Holmes.
I mean, like, he's good. Like, he had 1 really bad start last start, May 14th to give 4 runs. Other than that, 2 runs, 1 run, 3-1, 1-1, 3-1, 2. Like, his ERA is 3.29. I get, like, has the team talked about moving him? I know the fans came up with this idea of, like, he's hitting his inning limit. You have to move him to the bullpen. I don't know. He's as good as, like, the rest of the, like, average league pitching right now.
Does he have an innings limit?
No, but I think they just, like, once he hit his career high, people were like, we're going to have to move him. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. If they made him a starter, I think they talked about, like, him going way higher than his career high. He's pitching good enough. I don't necessarily see why we need to, unless they have talked and he's like, yeah, I'm burning out or something like that. But that seems to be all fabricated by the fans.
So say our rotation lines up as this, if everyone gets and stays healthy, knock on wood. Senga, Mania, Peterson. Those guys are fucking penciled.
It's a good 3.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have,
it's a fab 3, Clem. That's a fab 3.
It's a fab 3. Yes, that is a fab 3. And then you have Montas. I don't know if they just keep him in just because he's getting paid that money. Ugh. But the thing about Holmes, why I could see if they piggyback him maybe in the future, is everyone lost their mind when Mendoza took him out after 5 and he was dealing. And then everyone lost their mind when Mendoza kept him in for 6 and he got killed in the 6th inning last game. So it's like maybe he is just a guy. It's like he could be. I don't want to like put him in the same boat, but Andrew, who was the fucking reliever? Miller. Like he's just a guy who comes in and can eat 3 innings and just
Yeah, but okay. But here's the thing: if you said that about like 3 innings, I would get it. Nowadays, if you pitch 5 innings, you're a starter.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm saying we might not have we might have a glut of starters if we make a move that we all think we're going to make. It's just a numbers game. Now you can take Montas out. I'd have no problem with that.
Well, that's what I mean. I would rather
the ability to come in during a game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather Holmes keep pitching than Montas?
Oh yeah, I'd rather
I'd
rather my son pitch over Montas.
Antonio Marte, throw him out there. I just don't, unless there's a actual reason that's not concocted by us, until the wheels really come off, or he's really fatigued and velocity's down and whatever. I just say keep going. If it ain't broke, man.
What if Clay Holmes, this new fucking little joker 3-inning guy, you could pitch him twice in 5 days instead of once in 5 days? We're using him with the Montas. You just got to get a few outs. Then we get the Holmes after that. And then we're using, some quality parts of the bullpen. I'm telling you, man, Hefner might be cooking some shit in that lab. It's probably Stearns. He's the weirdo math guy. They've probably figured out a way to fix pitching or make it unique. But the Dodgers are doing weird shit against us in the playoffs, right? Whatever works. So yeah. We'll get into the trade deadline stuff and all as that approaches. Which is it still July 31st, or has that? I know it moved a couple times. Let me look up 2025 MLB trade deadline. July 31st. So still
6 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard all the names already. Where it's a lot of Mullins and.
What if they make a splash? There's a part of me that thinks well, what if, man? They got a lot of pieces.
Zach Gallen is the best fit for us, who kills us. So there you go. You get the guy who knows the Mets.
Yeah,
it's amazing too. Mets fans have truly either embraced the pitching lab or just gotten or just desperate when it's a guy with a 5.5 ERA and Sandy Alcantara with a 7 ERA are our targets, right? Yeah. If we get Sandy Alcantara and he pitches to a 7 ERA, what are we going to do then? We're fucked.
Right. Sandy got Tommy John, right? Yeah. That guy was about to be a goat. He was fucking unbelievable.
He was tearing off complete games like it was nothing too, and at a time when no one's doing that.
I thank God Lindor used to hit him, because otherwise he was fucking smoke us. But
I was gonna say, I think we were the only guys who beat him that year. We played him 7 times. We beat him somehow every time.
He was going toe to toe with DeGrom, and you're this is gonna be a 1-run ball game.
Right, man. That, if you told me, hey, in a few years you're gonna be ugh, no, thank you, Sandy Alcantara, I would have been what? No way. Crazy.
And then DeGrom's kind of the other guy who everyone wants, and obviously the Rangers are struggling right now, and you could eat the contract. I don't think he fucking likes us. I just flat out.
I don't think he wants to be here in New York, the city, the team, the fan. I don't think he wants any of it.
Yeah, it would feel great if DeGrom was on a team. It's he got that ring last year. Just watching, I love for him to.
I saw some guys debating, maybe Trevor May and some other dudes, if DeGrom's a Hall of Famer. I know he doesn't have the complete body of work, but he's a fucking Hall of Famer.
So
he was the best pitcher ever for a stretch.
He's kind of got that.
He has back-to-back Cy Youngs. If he had a third, especially if it was 3 in a row, it's an absolute lock. I don't care what the fuck else happened.
By the way, he probably would have had 3 in a row. That was the COVID year that Trevor Bauer won.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. And he had 2 bad starts at the very end.
He had a great season. It was just, that 1 or 2 starts at the end that fucked him. But he's a Hall of Famer.
That's going to be a doozy of a debate.
No way.
I'm just saying that people are going to be debating the shit out of that when it comes.
He's still pitching, so he's still adding to the resume that now he's back into form. So if he stays healthy, then it's I think a shoe.
Yeah. You give him 2 or 3 more. If you can get 2 more years like this, I think he's in a much better place. I also thought he had won 3. I thought he won the back-to-back.
I think 3. You're a lot. I mean, listen, if you won 3 in a row, you're with Maddox and Ray Johnson. That's it. Yep. And he fell this fucking short of it. So, all right, maybe not a first ballot. I don't know. He's getting in the fucking Hall of Fame. You better get in the Hall of Fame. And by the way, a lot of people say, well, if you do that, then Johan's got to get in too. I think Johan should be in. I don't think
Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame. Who gives a shit? It's the All-Star game. Yeah. It's the Emmys and the Oscars. It's just morons who make these picks. The Wire never was nominated for Emmy until we got 1 nomination its last season. The best show I've ever seen, and it doesn't have any fucking who gives a shit, guys? It's we have to let it go. But yeah, Jacob DeGrom is a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
He's the best pitcher I've ever seen.
That's what I mean. And that's where Santana I think should get in, but we could have more of an argument about that. there was a long stretch of time where people were like Pedro in 99 or DeGrom in 18 or whatever, whatever his peak was. Like, he was the greatest pitcher a lot of people have ever seen for a long enough time that it was not just a blip or like a 1-year fluke or something like that. Like,
would you guys sign up to take him back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I think without question.
Yeah, like, I don't want, like, he wouldn't want to be here, and I wish he liked it and all that shit. It wouldn't be under perfect circumstances, but I would, if you got to put a gun to his head and drag him back to Queens and pitch, but he pitches for us, like, so be it.
I mean, you have Seaver coming back after like the Midnight Massacre is the worst trade in like the history of baseball, and then he comes back.
All bridges can be mended. Everything can be fixed, especially with.
Someone tweeted, "No fan base has a love for a player who was great for you when the team absolutely sucked dick." Like, that's always the guy where you're like, I'm rooting for him regardless.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like, I'm sure like Mariners fans with Felix Hernandez and guys like that who are just like, they're trying their fucking best and no one is supporting them. And they're just, the only thing to look forward to. And I'll ride for him forever. I would love to have him back. I don't think it'll happen though.
Oh man, when's the election in New York City? When's the mayor? I don't know if he's coming back, depending on how the politics shake out here too.
Yeah, that's true. It's not gonna live in.
You tell Mets fans they have to vote one way, and they get they will show up more than the All-Star game.
Guys, the poll numbers are out of this world. What the fuck? We might actually get Kevin to vote if we can get Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, for real. I'll register the fuck out of that shit if he comes out.
All right, so we got 2 today. We'll see how that goes, followed by 3 in fucking Kansas City, House of Horrors, those fucking fountains. So through the All-Star game and our 3 representatives, right? Diaz, Pete, and Lindor.
Mm-hmm. By the way, that's why I didn't understand what Pete meant when he was like, I've never gotten, am I the only one who saw this quote? Pete saying, I've never had the full 3 days off. I thought he was in the All-Star game. No, is he not playing?
He's
both nights, like, all right, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The first year he was second bench player or whatever, but he was in the home run derby. Last year or whatever, like the last couple of years, he hasn't been an All-Star. They just are putting
just on the home run derby. Yeah. So.
At the end of the day, gotta believe.